On behalf of GenieBiome, it is our honor to share with you our innovations on how we are breaking the wall of colon cancer using novel microbes. Our inspiration always comes from human lives. Last year, I was shocked to hear that the Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman had died. He was only 43 years old. He had colon cancer and had been battling it for 4 years. This could happen to any of us. Do you know that colon cancer kills almost 1 million people every year? It is the #1 cancer in Hong Kong, #2 cancer killer in the United States, and has risen to become the 3rd most common cancer in mainland China. One of the tragedies is that colon cancer is the most preventable, yet least prevented form of cancer. Many people don't get tested early enough. Classically, the way to screen for colon cancer is to take a bowel prep and to have a colonoscopy, which is invasive and unpleasant. So at GenieBiome, we provide a new solution by utilizing novel bacteria to detect cancer early when it can be cured. Now, we have 30 trillion human cells, but 39 trillion microbial cells. We are more microbes than human. We have 20,000 human genes, which is only 1% of us. And we've been ignoring the 99% of our microbial genes, the ones that we can change. So who would have thought that the trillions of bacteria that live inside you collectively, known as your gut microbiome, can one day be used to predict your risk of colon cancer. In fact, with just a small spoonful of stew, we can generate tons of data that are transformed into our microbial signature. Our story started almost a decade ago. By deep shotgun sequencing, we found 20 bacterial markers enriched in colon cancer. These bacteria produce toxins that damage DNA. Now, using our proprietary algorithm, we have nailed them down to 4 key bacterial gene markers, and we can detect colon cancer with a sensitivity of 94% and specificity of 81%. But what I'm most excited is to share with you that this innovation can detect pre-cancer lesions. This is an adenoma, and if left untreated, will become cancer over time. Our technology can help you to detect this lesion, but after removal of this lesion, the patient will have to undergo a repeat procedure. With our new technology, we can monitor for recurrence of these lesions with 95% sensitivity. This is not just an idea. It works. I have a family history of colon cancer. I use our prototype, and my results were sent to the laboratory. Using our qPCR technology, my results was ready in less than 4 hours. And thank goodness, I have a low risk for colorectal cancer as well as colonic adenoma. I can be spared of a colonoscopy. You are witnessing the birth of a non-invasive microbiome precision screening test for early detection of colon cancer and adenomas. This is not just a dream. It was launched in Hong Kong in March this year. But at GenieBiome, we don't intend to stop here. We are in fact building Asia's largest microbial data set, supported by population-based clinical studies. We differentiate ourselves by 4 key elements. Over 10 years of expertise, we secured over $60 million funding of R&D. We have unique database and disruptive technology. Our marketing survey showed people over the age of 40 in healthcare are willing to use this test. And if you look at our roadmap, we will have launched in Hong Kong. We will now go to Asia and China, and our key adopters are doctors, insurers, and health check centers. We are a spin-out biotech from the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and we are founded by internationally renowned clinician scientists, led by commercial experts from pharmaceuticals and healthcare with 20 years of experience. And our team are continue to expand to over 25 staff. Our vision is to become the most transformative and scientifically driven Asia-based microbiome biotech company. And we are fortunate to have secured over $4 million in our seed and Series A funding. So, GenieBiome's core technology offers the promise of prevention. It is cost competitive. We are navigating uncharted territory because no tool like this exists today. Through your commitment and your effort, we can create a better future together in breaking the wall of colon cancer via early detection. Thank you very much for your support.
Yeah, maybe I'll start. Can you speak a bit about your IP protection? So you found 4 bacteria that are correlated, but you cannot patent naturally occurring substance. So how did you protect your test?
Thank you very much for the question. So we have a family of 6 patents for this that is licensed exclusively from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. The claims within this patent is that this bacteria are bacterial gene markers, and based on the quantification and our own algorithms, in order to give us a sensitivity of 95%, we're able to sort of patent this claim. And more importantly, we're able to design a test kit that actually, in the combination of these in different ratios, are able to give us the best and optimal results. And these jurisdictions are USA, Taiwan, China, Hong Kong, and European at the moment.
Got it. And if a competitor were to basically exploit this research, what are they allowed and not allowed to do? Just want to understand competitive landscape.
Absolutely. I think at the moment, in terms of competitors, there are no, as far as we are aware, a microbial test kit. So all the competitors have been looking at stool DNA, which is targeting the host, the actual person's genetic makeup, and not the microbial genetic makeup. So what this test, offers is that they will not be able to have the algorithm and the reference data set in order to come up with the proprietary machine learning that we come up with to predict colorectal cancer and the precancer lesions.
Gotcha, very helpful. And then I'd love to understand also how physicians would use this. Is your vision that we would have fewer colonoscopies in general, or you actually want to increase the number of colonoscopies? How does that work?
I think there will be two-fold to that. I think the first is clearly, as physicians, we really want to increase colorectal cancer screening because we know that the uptake will reduce death and also increase survival. So in order to increase colorectal cancer screening, at the moment, the tool is colonoscopy or a non-invasive test. So we offer an alternative. At the moment, if you look around the world, only 10 to 20% of people are compliant to screening, and that's because of the invasiveness of colonoscopy. So I believe this offers an unmet need of a non-invasive test, and our survey of over 1,500 individuals show that they prefer a non-invasive test. So I think we will definitely increase the screening, and those detected positive, colonoscopy will complement us in order to actually remove the lesion. But the future is even more exciting that we can monitor for recurrence, because at the moment, there's no test that could monitor the recurrence of cancer in these individuals.
Great. And I guess last question is just price point. What do you think you'll be selling at? And you mentioned in the presentation various channels. So you have well centers, you have physicians. Is there any evidence that there's uptake of your product?
So at the moment, because it's a PCR-based test, so the actual cost is about 20 to 30 US dollars, as opposed to a competitor, which is a stool DNA test in the United States. That's about 600 US dollars because it's measure methylation. So comparatively, this is more affordable and cost competitive for the general Asian population. And secondly, we have actually engaged, I think one of the challenges and what we have overcome is the education of colorectal cancer screening, the offer of a non-invasive test. So our flagship is in Hong Kong, and we're spreading to Asia Pacific, then China. So in Hong Kong, we as physicians and as panel of the colorectal cancer screening board, myself and Professor Chan, are able to get the panel in terms of the endorsement to include this in the healthcare screening program.
Sorry, one more very minor question. Did you raise 4 million or 60? I think I saw both numbers in the presentation.
Right. So we raised 4 million US dollars for the seed and the Series A fund, but we're very fortunate because the Innovation and Technology Commission in Hong Kong, which is a government funding, has actually funded us to set up a research center, an R&D center, whereby the 60 million will be used to develop all different pipelines of our R&D. Of course, for commercialization, the license will be exclusively licensed to GenieBiome for further commercialization.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other judges? We still have 3 more minutes.
That exclusive license is in the context of colorectal cancer. Are there other areas, adjacent areas of research, other products outside of that space that you would pursue?
Thank you for your question. So our first pipeline is colorectal cancer, but at the same time, because the gut microbiota is playing an important role in other different diseases as well. So along this pipeline, we have 2 other diseases, which one of them is autism, because at the moment, children with autism are not able to be accurately diagnosed. So we now have a stool test, which is a microbial gene test targeted for children with autism. And along the pipeline, we are also looking at other chronic conditions like metabolic disease and obesity. So these are within the pipeline of GenieBiome.
And what are the limitations of the exclusive license, whether it be time, geography, or other areas?
For the exclusive license from the Chinese State of Hong Kong, at the moment it's at least 18 years, which is probably about the lifetime of a examined and approved patent. And in terms of geography, currently it covers China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, because we're going to PCT as well, and Europe, as well as the United States. But it will expand to other continents within Europe as well.
And that 60 million funding commitment, is that non-dilutive, or what's the form of that funding?
For the 60 million funding from the government of Hong Kong, SARS, which is the Innovation and Technology Commission, it is exclusively for us to do research and development at the moment. So all the pipelines of these products and this research and any output will be within, again, the Chinese State of Hong Kong, and subsequently it could then be licensed. So I think essentially GenieBiome is very fortunate to have a privilege of extra funding for R&D.
And the government has no shareholding at all, and there won't be any dilution because of this government input into our R&D.
Okay, thank you very much. Time's up now. You will be moved to another breakout room, and we will soon see the next startup. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.